YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here for another multi-sport show. We got MLB and NBA for you guys today on April 1st here. Joined as always by my guys, Stu. What's going on, my man?
Yeah, no, I mean, every year this happens. I always get caught off guard on April Fool's Day. I always see these crazy tweets. I'm always like, what is going on right now? And then get a little bit of a wake-up call. But hey, today, no jokes, all bets, all props, and it should be a good one. Like you said, obviously, we're in full swing now. We got MLB, we got NBA action coming at you guys. So, hey, if you're in here right now, we appreciate it. Leave a like, drop a comment, a question, let us know what you're thinking for this slate because it should be a surprisingly good one. And I'm ready to, get right into it.
Yeah, like I said, again, I have not looked at NBA since opening day. So that'll be good for me to have something to tail and not have to do all of the numbers myself there. So I'm always happy with that. We have, if you're a DFS guy like myself, we got 3 slates today. We got the afternoon slate. We got our main, and we also have a night slate with an 8:40 start time on those. So I love how they're doing that now. I love how they're splitting them up and not having like one, 14 gamer. Split up, right? Split up, and we got good games all around. Used to be seeing these high-end pitchers, and we're to the back end of the starting rotation. So when you see the opening day lines at like 7.5, and they're like minus 110 each, now you're seeing like nines and a half because you're seeing some scrubs out there. So should make for a good slate, and I'm excited to get after it.
No, yeah, as a guy that bets a lot of batter props and stuff like that, this is the meat and potatoes, right? This is what we want. We want the back end of the rotation. I know everyone gets fired up and wants to fire off those bets day one, but this is where it gets a little uglier, which is obviously, nice for the hitters and stuff like that. You get your Flexins, your Marco Gonzalez's, you get these guys back on the mound again today. So definitely excited for it. And like I said before, you got those home run questions, bets, drop them in the comments. We will definitely get to it throughout the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll take a look. We got 15 of you guys here in the first 2 minutes. Appreciate you. Hit that like button while you're here. And we'll get it started here with our recap from last show. I'm going to try to keep all the MLB stuff organized here. On my end, I have no idea how the NBA ones did, so you guys have to let me know.
2-0, baby. Halliburton 15 and McBride Steele easy. Got the job done right here. McBride almost got benched. He didn't play 80 minutes this time. He only played like 35, which is very funny, but still got the job done for us.
Awesome. And I believe we had Denny as well.
Oh, I wish I had like the triple-double this night, but Denny did cash the ticket right here, 2-0 in the NBA. But I was a couple shows too early. He was going crazy in that game, but shout out to Denny. Easy cash in this one.
I can't go wrong with Denny. He's been good to us up and down through the seasons here. So obviously I had those. I got a split. Pavetta obviously shoved on him. 3 hits, 10. I think he had 10 Ks. Looked awesome. Stuff was great. Stuff plus is top 5 in the MLB through his first start. Love having my 60% Pavetta, 80% Bobby Miller. Feeling pretty good about where I'm at on those. Obviously, I need my hitters to start moving a little bit. But my pitching I'm feeling pretty damn good about it. And Quantrill did what he always does. We zeroed out with the Marlins race to 4. AJ Puck, obviously the darling of everybody, really fell apart, man. He couldn't throw strikes. Ended up having Martin Perez get a nice 6-run lead and just started chucking and filling up the zone. And it was tough. It was tough to watch when everybody, I think, was on the strikeout props. I'm like, I don't want to do the strikeout props. I thought he'd be able to limit the damage in those spots, but obviously getting that pitch count almost at 60 through 2 innings is not an ideal start. First start in 8, I think in his career, and also obviously his first one there. Should be fun.
Yeah, no, Puck, obviously the gambling Twitter hero, kind of unfortunately, 6 walks, something like that. Just, brutal start. I'm curious what his numbers will be on the bounce back, in his second time out on the mound, because as you saw, it was up to like 6.5 Ks by closing time. Like you said, for a guy that hadn't started since maybe the early days of his career or since Florida. So yeah, definitely an interesting one, but yeah, still a solid, 3-1 slate right there for the show.
Yeah, you got to get that plus money in there. Obviously, makes it 0 out completely. So we're 0-0 on MLB to start. And always happy to have a 2-0 one there. Stu, I'll kick it over to you to start us off here. What is the game you're looking at here? Like I said, I don't even know who's playing tonight, so this will be news to me. So I'm excited to hear what you got.
This is my kind of NBA slate. It's an ugly one. It's a short. We got a couple back-to-backs. There's a couple games that matter. So for me, I think, I want to tell you guys Grizzlies Pistons because I'll probably have a lot of bets in that one, but nobody actually wants to watch that. I think for me, Suns Pelicans, obviously big three, is back healthy, and now they're fighting for a playoff spot, right? Neither of these two teams are really comfortably where they want to be, and the Suns and Pelicans have had some good matchups before, so I don't think that's a blowout right there. I think we get a very close game. I think in terms of just basketball quality, that's going to be the best one on the slate, but you know me, I love the role players. The Trailblazers are up today, the Pistons, the Grizzlies. Like, I'm going to have a good amount of bets on some of these guys, as you'll see pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking at the MLB slate, dude, there's a lot of games I like. I really kind of want to see that the matchup with the Blue Jays Astros. I think that'll be a fun game to watch. But also the Yankees Diamondbacks, I think, would be my number one. Both teams coming in really hot. Obviously, the Yankees are rolling to start the season, which you didn't expect to hear me say that this early, especially without Garrett Cole. And then obviously the Diamondbacks got the gift of all gifts. That is facing the Rockies away from Coors in their first couple games. So even this far into the season, the numbers are going to be obviously really, really crazy. But I'm interested because both these pitchers really haven't shown me much. Ryan Nelson, a guy I used to like to back, but just can't strike out guys. He can't strike out guys against this Yankees lineup that strikes out a lot. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm curious to see how that one goes. Probably not going to have a lot of bets in that game, but definitely a spot I want to talk about.
Yeah, Nelson's a guy that I'm seeing a couple more people betting on as well, which caught me off guard a little bit. Maybe apparently some of the maybe spring training. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to be watching for sure. I think for me, man, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Any game with the unknowns, obviously the Marlins have the young pitcher going out there. I know he's on a pitch count, but obviously that's going to be fun. You know me, I'm a Nationals guy. Mackenzie Gore, in reality, is probably our most interesting pitcher. So I'm super pumped to watch him. Hopefully we tee off on Marco Gonzalez as well, get a couple Lane trains. I know my boys in the Discord are all over Lane Thomas today. So that's a good tradition we want to carry over from last season, Lane Thomas against lefty. So that's got to be, I'll throw in some Nationals love for the day.
Yeah, the Nationals just find a way to blow every game possible, man. It's going to continue to be like that, and that's a lot of these games come down to that bullpen and what do you got in there for us. So take a look at the chat here. We got 16 of you guys in here. We got 6 likes so far. Let's hit that like button while you're in here. Erica, we are right about to get to some plays here. You're here early. You're here right when we're about to recap all of our last show. And we're getting into the slate for today. What's up, guys? Yeah, the slate should be good. I'm excited on both ends. Obviously, Stu's going to be loading up on NBA. I'll be all MLB here. I think I will go first for the first time in a while, just because I have a game that starts here. Let me check the timing of that game. What time do they start at? It's within the next hour, I think. So, pays to be here live with us. I am going to be rolling in the Braves game. So it starts at 55 minutes. So make sure you're locking these ones in here early. I'm going to go with a plus money spot to start off my week. And I'm going to go with Austin Riley to record an RBI here at plus 125. I really like this matchup for Riley specifically in this matchup with Chris Flexen. We talk about it all the time. This guy's a cutter, change-up, four-seam guy that makes up most of his repertoire. And I just don't see how this goes well against the right-handed bats, especially Austin Riley. Obviously, Acuna, dude, you can't find Acuna anywhere for any good price. And I'm happy to get this plus 125 because really Austin Riley hasn't done much to start the year. We've seen Olsen go yard. We've seen Ozuna go yard. We've seen Albies go yard twice, right? And you've seen, obviously, Acuna batting over 500. Kelnick batting over 500. All these dudes are just loaded right now. But yet Austin Riley hasn't woken up yet. And I think this is the game where he does. And that's the reason why I think we're getting plus 125. Because in the game with a 4.5 total for the Braves, I'm expecting him to be in, juiced to get an RBI in this spot. So, obviously, love the guys up top being able to run a little bit, get me in the scoring position. But let's take a look here. I talked about Flexen stuff. I think 41% four seam, 30% cutter, 15% changeup. Everything else kind of sub 10, nothing much that you're going to see there. But Austin Riley obviously is going to crush every single one of those pitches. Four seam last year, he had a 501 expected slug on there. You go over to the changeup. He has a 527 slugging last year, not missing the ball at all. Cutter is the best pitch for him too as well, and that's going to be something that's going to be brought up today because the dude has a 353 average against. He's got a 787 expected slugging against that pitch, and I think it's just because he is such a good hitter to the opposite field, to that right center gap. So if I'm going to have a guy here in Austin Riley, a midday game, I think we see Flexen kind of sleeping a little bit here, first start of the season. I know it's his first start with these guys, but it's out in Chicago. It's not that bad out yet. It's supposed to get kind of shitty out here later in the day, but it should be pretty nice to start. I think this total obviously is leaning towards some runs being scored on the Brave side. And if I get to trust all of that speed at the bottom of the order coming up to the top, and then you got obviously Acuna and Albies up top there, I think this is a great price, especially with the numbers expected from the Braves here. And it doesn't matter who you're bringing out of the pen for the White Sox. I expect Austin Riley to be able to obviously just absolutely crush. So mix of the best pitches that he's going against a guy who doesn't get any swings and misses. Obviously, I saw Austin Riley's last at bat on Sunday was a nice double in the gap there. So I think that might get him going a little bit as a guy who was kind of swinging and missing a little bit early. What better matchup than a guy who doesn't miss bats, has your best pitches, and you're in a team spot where you should be running all over these guys. So I really like this spot at plus money, plus 125.
Yeah, I really like it. You mentioned, obviously, what better guys to be hitting behind in this situation? You got a guy that if he anyway gets on first, he's down to second instantly, runner in scoring position, obviously another elite hitter in the 2-hole, and then you can't walk this guy, right, with who the firepower that's behind him as well. And obviously we all know Austin Riley, he hits the ball very hard. He can drive himself in. The home run is always very live. Matchup is great right here. I'm definitely tailing. You already know. And Austin Riley's one of those guys, too, you can kind of hit the, 2 RBI kind of spots, maybe if you want to, do that ladder a little bit. I've seen those are becoming more popular, and I definitely get why.
Yeah, and I think one thing that makes this bet, what makes me feel a little better about this bet is anytime they start at the top of the order, Ozzie Albies is a fantastic team player here too. He'll just roll over to second base, move him over. Obviously has the ability to get through to the outfield, but dude's looking to do the fundamentals right? He's trying to roll that ball over, get this guy over to third base. And obviously you got two of the best RBI guys in the MLB, and Olsen and Riley right behind you. So definitely a guy you want to have in that 2-hole. He fits that mold perfectly. Obviously, we've seen a few homers from him, which obviously gets you not having Austin Riley in those RBI positions because there's nobody on base. But I don't expect him to continue to home run at this type of rate. 2 and 4 games already. So loving the spot. I think I trust Riley more than some of the other guys in the order, especially seeing his track record and strikeout rates and stuff.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And at the end of the day, too, even beyond all the numbers and all the data you just said, you got a pitcher that doesn't miss barrels, right? He doesn't miss bats, and this is one of the most dangerous bats in the league. So anytime you get something like that, I'm on board.
Beautiful, beautiful. I will kick it over to you for your plus money spot here as well, Stu, to start us off.
Yep. We're going Cam Thomas over 5.5 first quarter points. Surprisingly, plus money across the board, plus 115 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. We're playing it for half unit here. The only reason I'm playing it for half a unit is because I'm going to be playing him in some other ways as well. I just need to figure out the best numbers. Because for me, if you've been watching the show, we've cashed on Cam Thomas in the first quarter a couple times. This will not be the first. And if you follow me on Twitter, it's been a couple more, right? He's been a very successful target for me. And what I've noticed is that I've been playing him at 5.5 pretty consistently in that minus 120 range, minus 115, maybe occasionally plus money. With his full game number normally sitting at around 21, 22, 23. Well, his full game number has moved up to 24 on the day. I see he just got ruled out as a comment right here. I hope not. Hope that's not about me. Let's see. I see Cam Johnson. I don't see Cam Thomas.
I'll look through all my stuff. You keep rolling. Yeah. I'll keep looking.
I was gonna say that'd be pretty brutal, but I don't think he got ruled out. And if you want to go to that right now, though, Cam Johnson being ruled out, is honestly one of the reasons why we do like this prop. But like I was saying a second ago, they moved his total points up, but they did not adjust his first quarter number. And in fact, we're even getting a better first quarter number. And I think the reason why they're doing that is simply he's missed this badly in his last 2 games. And when you look, okay, he had 0 points in one of them and I think 2 points in the other. You go, that is bad. That's a bad sign. He took 6 shots. He averaged 6 shots in those games, right? He took more than 5 in both of those 2 games. So it's like I'm still getting the number of field goal attempts as I am the points, right? And for me, like I said, as a guy that cares about volume a lot, that's what I'm targeting, right? I want the opportunity. So if Cam Thomas is going to continue to play 8-9 first quarter minutes and you're going to guarantee me 5 or 6 shots, that's what I want to take. And the Pacers are a great matchup for it. We've talked about it here on the show before. Obviously, the fast pace, the defense isn't the strongest, but their defensive scheme, they're very good against the 3 ball. They limit it very well. They're spaced, and you can attack them one-on-one. Isolation guys are the kind of guys, if you can create your own shot, if you can beat them in the mid-range, if you can score in the paint, those are the kind of guys that absolutely destroy. And Cam Thomas is a do-it-yourself guard, right? He is going to the mid-range. To me, I bet Colin Sexton in this matchup a little while ago, and he reminds me a lot of Colin Sexton, right? Does not overly rely on the 3 ball. He's getting into the lane and getting that mid-range. And that's what the Pacers force you to do. They try to make teams uncomfortable by forcing you off the 3-point line. But Cam Thomas doesn't want to be on the 3-point line. He wants to drive. And this new coaching staff is all in on putting the ball in Cam Thomas's hands. The assist numbers are up, potential assists, potential rebounds. He's doing everything more right now. So for me, I like the full game points. I just think why move those up 3 points, right? When I can bet the same exact first quarter number at plus money, right? I get the hit rate hasn't been as good recently with a couple bad shooting performances, but also he was locked down by Gabe Vincent last night. Interestingly enough, only shot 1 for 7 against him in his return. So hopefully after a bad game, we shape up a little bit, knock off the rough shooting performances and get at it at a plus money number that I'm very surprised we're getting.
Yeah, no, I just looked. It's Dennis Smith and Cam Johnson. It's not Cam Thomas. So, hey, we appreciate you looking and trying to help us out there. But yeah, I did just check in. He should be in. But make sure you check that because we've seen Cam Thomas ruled out 5 minutes before a game with no thoughts about it prior. So definitely a guy who we could see sit out here just because it is a back-to-back, I believe. Right? They just played the Lakers last night, so. Definitely a spot we could see him sit. But as of right now, he is in the lineup and is ready to go. So should be good there. I don't think we have Luke talking about the team total over for the Braves. I didn't look at any of the girls basketball. Did you look at that at all, or?
I do have a little bit. I've Haley Van Lith under 11.5 points in that one. She's been benched a couple times in the tournament. Big personality. A lot of people know her, because she's famous, but it hasn't been hooping as much so far. And then I think everyone's going to bet Iowa. I think I'll probably bet LSU in the end.
I haven't seen anybody on Iowa. Everybody's on LSU.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Everybody I've seen is
Twitter?
on LSU.
I haven't been on Twitter. I'm only on.
Nobody's on. I literally haven't seen anybody.
Oh, that's concerning, man.
Yeah, everybody that I've seen on Twitter is betting LSU. Okay.
The general public crowd obviously knows Iowa and they know Caitlin Clark. I've heard a lot of people texting me personally and been like, "Yo, I'm betting on Iowa tonight." I'm like, listen, I don't know if that's a great idea. The problem is, how can they handle the size of LSU in the paint? I think LSU is a little overrated, to be honest. I don't think they're going to win it all. But Iowa is like, I hate to say, they're like a one-trick pony, right? It's Caitlin Clark or bust. And I hate you in any sport. You never want to bet on the one-trick pony, right? So for me, I don't mean that to diminish at all, by the way. I'm saying like it's Steph Curry versus everyone. You don't want, one guy to depend on. You want a whole team of people. You want that depth. And I don't think they have enough depth to win this game. So for me, unfortunately, it looks like I'll probably be on LSU tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, in the girls' game, we've seen that happen already. I mean, USC does the same thing. I mean, they're pretty much the same thing, and they're a 1 seed doing well. So
yeah,
I don't have any bets on that game at all there. But we will head on to plays 3 and 4. Again, guys, 27 of you guys in here live with us right now. Hit that like button if you could, and let's get to our next round. And I will go first again. And I'm going to be rolling with the Astros team total here. I know Astros have been absolutely dreadful to start the season. I am not worried about that. You have a track record of absolutely elite players here. Tucker, Alvarez, it's not like they're not healthy, right? Everybody's at the beginning of the season. They're all good. Altuve, Bregman. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, this lineup is absolutely stacked. Yanier Diaz, fantastic catcher, gives you a lot more pop than Maldonado when he was there. I know I've seen a lot of people on Francis. I've seen a lot of people wanting to back Francis, and I get it. But we've seen it already here with AJ Puck, right? You're getting thrown into the fire, man. You're getting thrown in as a starter, right? It's different. I don't care what you say. It is different to come out of the pen versus starting a game. And your first start is going to be against the Astros. Like, I have no idea why people are going this way and trying to bet this guy. Obviously, Blanco gave you a little bit last year, and I understand it, but I don't understand how the money line is still minus 140, dude. I thought this would be a lot higher, especially in Houston, right? I mean, they're in Houston. This team has hit fantastic here for 3-4 years, elite numbers. And you look at Altuve, he's a better hitter against righties, right? Obviously, you got Tucker and Alvarez, who are phenomenal. You look at Francis as a reliever. Dude only has a 17% K rate against lefties. I don't want that if I'm going to face this team, Tucker and Alvarez, and you're only going to strike out 17%, and that's as a reliever, so you're probably losing velo, moving to the starting rotation. I don't want to get in front of this buzzsaw. You look at a couple of these guys, like Bregman. He's got about a 200 BABIP so far, batting average on balls in play, right? That is part of stuff that you got to look at when a team is struggling this bad. Are they making contact? Are they striking out all the time? What is happening here? What are we seeing so far? And Alex Bregman has 15 at-bats, 1 strikeout, right? He's got 1 strikeout the whole year. And he just has a 200 batting average in balls in play. So I expect that to obviously regress positively. You have Alvarez, obviously, who's going to hit every righty to the moon, having Tucker there as well. And I think the guy that's sneaky for me that I drafted a ton of and I have a lot of exposure to is Chas McCormick. And he is very, very good here against righties at home. I think that this is a great spot for the Astros. You still have no Romano in the back end of this bullpen. The Blue Jays have not had a game where they've had to use their pressure pen, right? They haven't had to do that. Their win 8-2, right? They've lost 2 or 3 of those other games, and those weren't really particularly close either. So when you look at, have they been tested yet so far? They're 2-2 on the season. But like I said, when you go down these lists and see these games, right, they won 9-2 against Tampa. They lost 5-1 against Tampa. They lost 8-2 against Tampa. And then they won 8-2. So there have not been close games yet where you're going to have your pressure guys in pressure spots. And when you have the Astros at home, you got a great bullpen. I really like the Astros here. I don't want to pay the minus 140, but I expect if the Astros are going to win, they're going to be putting them up in full. So really like this spot. Love the positive regression thoughts about it. And it's not like this is a 1-year sample for this Astros lineup. This Astros lineup has shown over the 5 years, right? 5 years that they are good and elite at pretty much every single spot that they go at, and obviously great at home. So sign me up for the Astros for some positive regression, getting that first win today.
Yeah, I feel like that's for people that don't watch baseball. I feel like that's kind of what you do on here, right? You take advantage of teams that maybe you're coming off a bad game or two, right? And you get that number you want to take advantage of, and it's the unknown, right? Or, a reliever stretched out a little bit. We don't know what we're going to get right here, but you mentioned it. We do know what we're going to get from the fucking Astros, right? And these guys are really, really good. And this is a strong lineup. It's not like there's a bunch of turnover or anything, right? It's the same guys that we know and love. So I'm with you. I definitely think this is a good buy spot right here. I'm curious. I was just watching the game the other day. If that Yordan one that looked like a homer off the bat in the end of that game went over, and not just a warning track fly ball, maybe people look at it a little differently. Maybe they say, oh, they got a little momentum out of that series now. But nope, catches it, game over, whatever. But I like the spot right here. Definitely a good bounce back for the Astros after a little bit of an underwhelming start.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the past years, Yankees are towards the top always in bullpen numbers. They're obviously very, very good in that aspect. I mean, they're coming off a game where they lost, 4-3. They had 12 hits. They out-hit the Yankees. So it's like the Yankees are going to be an elite lineup now with Soto in there as long as everybody's healthy and good there. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like they're just like not getting hits right at all, and they're just getting ran over. right? I mean, even when you looked at Rodon, he gave up 5 hits in 4 innings. Astros still had 7 hits in that game and only scored 1 run. It's just you got to make the stuff happen with runners in scoring position. And again, you want to talk about negative regression. Bro, this Francis dude last year, right? 100% left on base percentage to righties, 94% to lefties. This dude is about to get rocked, bro. It's coming. And you're going to see it. If he's going to only throw 3 innings, only throw 4 innings, that pen ain't that good either. You don't have that stopper at the end trying to force it all the way to the end there. So I'm telling you, stuff that people aren't looking at. They'll look at his reliever numbers. They'll look, oh, he had a really good spring. Who gives a shit about spring? I don't give a shit about the spring. Only thing I care about spring is if the guy's stretched out a little bit if I want to play him in DFS. That's it. That's it. So sign me up. I'm all over the Astros today.
I'm in. I love it. Do we have a homer look in this one by any chance? I haven't got a chance to look at the home run board.
I can't imagine the prices are good. The guys that I want to take.
Yeah,
the guys I want to take are lefties against this guy. So unfortunately, Yordan Alvarez will, even though you might have not had him so far, the dude's got a plus 190 home run prop.
Oh,
what the hell is that, bro? Kyle
Okay.
Tucker's at 350. I'm buying in on that guy at plus 400 all the time. I'm telling you, the books are telling you right there. They're telling you right there. This dude is going to get rocked, and I'm excited for it. So I'm going to stick it at this number. I don't know if I'm going to roll a home run prop, but if I would, you got to take one of the lefties in this lineup.
100%.
All right, Stu. 35 live viewers in here with us. Thank you guys for continuing to pop in here with us. We try to make the show a little quicker here when we're rolling through this NBA and MLB season. If you got questions, throw them in the chat. Obviously, we get to everything, or usually try to get to everything. If we don't get onto it on the show, we'll pop over there for before the slate starts here. But I'll kick it over to you, Stu, and then we'll get to some questions here.
Yeah, we'll end with a bang. We're going Ryan Rupert, a guy I'm sure you guys all know. 1 first quarter rebound. We paired that up with Tyrese Halliburton, 1 steal, minus 106. Ryan Rupert is a rookie international basketball player on the Trailblazers, finally getting a little bit of run right now. He's only played about 5 or 6 games in the first quarter so far this year. Every game where he's reached that 5-minute benchmark, he's cleared 1 rebound. Honestly, I think his 3.5 rebounds is pretty terribly mispriced right now, but I think even having 1 as like the only default option, whenever they open up 2 and 3 rebounds, I'll be playing that as well, because over his last 2 games, he's playing, 8 and 10 first quarter minutes. And that's more what I'm expecting, because I don't know if you've looked at any of these Trailblazers games. They've lost by 60 points now 3 times this season, including most recently against the Heat, where they were absolutely destroyed in a game where Scoot Henderson ended up posting the lowest plus minus.
Yeah, I saw that. Like 60, yeah. Right?
Yep. Minus 60 or 59, one of those. But it was brutal. But the point is, this team is in full-on rehabilitation mode. And Rupert's a guy I love betting the points under. He's an incredibly raw prospect. The shooting is not there, but they've caught up. It's only 6.5 points now for a guy that is likely to be playing 30 minutes a game tonight. So when I look at it, I really think the first quarter is the best way to play this. He's, like I said, ever since he's been in that starting lineup, which he's expected to start again, no Kamara now as well, adding in another injury. He's out for the season with a rib injury. So it's just going to be Walker under there. It's going to be Aiden, who is, doing a little bit of scoring, but not much else right now. For me, if we're going to get 7-8 minutes, we only need 1 rebound. We got a young, athletic wing that is trying to earn more minutes for himself in the future. He's been aggressive on the board so far. I'm playing his full game at 3.5, but I really think 1 is honestly the best way to target it. And then Halliburton has been great in the steals department, averaging 2 steals per game over his last 10, about 1.7 steals per game on the season. He's come in incredibly consistent, over 1 steal in 16 of his last 20. It's a close game. Everything matters down the end of the year for these Pacers. Steals were a little tough on today's slate. You guys know that's normally where my eyes go first. But I think Halliburton's one of the only ones that really sticks out with any value tonight. That's why I thought it was such a great pair with Rupert. So I know this one's a little weird. Obviously, a guy that most of you do not know, have never heard of. If you don't have first quarter as an option, like I said, 3.5 rebounds is a very nice play as well. I've been projected for 26 total minutes tonight, but I expect it actually to be around 31. just because they're playing for absolutely nothing. And then in the first quarter, 2 rebounds. So if they ever do open up the 2 first quarter rebounds, I'll be playing that at plus money as well.
Awesome. Definitely a guy. I mean, I've heard of the dude, but I have not ever thought about clicking his name. So definitely a guy that you're going to probably know more about than anybody else. So good looks. If you have that option for that first quarter one, make sure you hit it. Would you advise, if you can't get first quarter numbers, to just take the full game over rebounds?
Yep. 3.5. Yep. And you can get it minus 105 right now, I believe, on Caesars is the best price.
Beautiful. Stu, let's recap. Let's get to some long shots. We got a couple other questions in here we'll get to after that recap quickly here. I'll kick it to you to start.
Sounds good. We got Cam Thomas in the first quarter over 5.5 first quarter points, plus 115 over on FanDuel. And like I said, I will be playing his full game as well in some capacity. Just go over on Twitter, follow, and you can find out how a little bit later today. Then we got biggest play of the day, Ryan Rupert, 1 first quarter rebound, Tyrese Halliburton, 1 steal, minus 106.
Beautiful. I'll be on the Astros team total over 4.5. And also rolling with Austin Riley. He starts here in 35 or so minutes. Make sure you pop over there and lock him in to start your day, hopefully off on the right foot. So you got a long. Actually, no. Let's get to questions quick. We got you got anything on the Giants Padres Jung-Hoo Lee props? No, I do not have a bet there, but I do have a part of my long shot that will be in that game. If you can wait like 2 seconds, I'll be getting to my long shot here in a second. My long shot parlay of the day. I will have something in that game. I'm not taking them straight. I'm just throwing them in this parlay. But if you want to take them straight, you can.
Yeah, I don't have anything in that game yet either, but it does look like an interesting one. I've been a sucker. Yeah, I've been a sucker for the Giants a little bit this year already.
Yeah, I have so much Lee. I have so much Lee in best ball, dude. So much. And I have him in my year long. So I'm invested. Pretty heavily in that man. Hopefully he continues to stay hot to start the year. Dimitro's like, I love those rabbit hole parlays. Well, I'm going to have one here in a sec. Stu, do you have a long shot at all for today? I'm sure you do. I can't imagine that you don't.
Yeah, I actually have a baseball long shot, funnily enough. I got my guy, Riley Adams, to hit a home run at plus 650 on FanDuel Sportsbook against Marco Gonzalez of the Pirates. Washington making their home debut today. If you followed me last year, you know Lane Train is the guy we always go against lefties. But if you're a true follower, you're in the Discord, you know Riley Adams is actually the guy probably made just as much, if not even a little bit more money in the home run department. He's not a high average hitter. He's the rotational catcher for Washington. They have been getting him reps at first over the last, spring training, summer, trying to get him more at bats. He's pretty much their lefty platoon. They got a lot of guys, Meneses, Abrams, but there's not that much pop. Adams is kind of that added pop off the bench. When he hits the ball, he hits it far. So for me, I always like getting him against soft tossing lefties. Marco was brutal in spring. He throws a lot over the plate. We just need one to go very far. So I got my guy, Riley Adams. I know Lane Thomas is, but it's Washington home opener. Maybe I'll even swing down there. Who knows? Catch a home run ball on the way. Got to rock with my guy, Riley, today.
I've bet on Riley Adams and DFS so often. I text you every time I do, and he always hits a homer for me. So if he doesn't hit one today, I will have to play him on the next one. He's been good to me every time I play him, man. Every time against a lefty, like damn near minimum price hitting bombs. So love to see that. I'm going to be rolling with, obviously, you had a pretty big number. I got to get a little higher. So I had to go crazy here. I'm going to go with an RBI parlay, and that's going to be with Fernando Tatis Jr., Rafael Devers, and Kyle Tucker. Talked a little bit already about Tucker in that lefty spot. Getting, obviously, you got him and then Jordan back-to-back in the order. Tough spot for Francis here to get through. Going over to Devers, he's only played 2 games. He obviously was injured for one of those. He had a 2 RBI game in one of those spots. So really like that as a look in Oakland. Obviously, not going to be going for that home run in that big ballpark either. But also going over to Fernando Tatis. I thought this line was absurd. Plus 180 for Tatis to have an RBI, batting in the 2-hole. And you got Kim in front of him. Every time Kim's on base, the dude swipes. And I that's the reason I drafted him so high in my year long, because I need the stolen bases. But that dude is on second base. He gets on base, he is going to go. And I really like Tatis in this spot. Kyle Gibson, a guy I've liked to fade for a very long time. I think this is a good spot there. 5 games so far. He's got an RBI in 2 of them, multi-RBI game in the 2 home run game that he had. So he is seeing the ball well, coming off of a 1-for-4 performance where their team has won 13-4. I think this is a good spot. Get him back at home, and I want to roll with Tatis. Plus 180 for him straight is pretty absurd to me. So I'm gonna be rolling with this as a long shot there, little fun one. Throw that in there as well as taking them straight possibly.
Yeah, I like this. These RBIs are obviously a very good way to get exposure on really good players, get that plus money in there as well. So definitely like this. I'll be tailing you. I prefer round robins. I'm a little safer, so I'd probably fire them up in a little round robin tonight, but definitely like the looks.
Yes, sir. Stu, do you want to talk about this one at all, or you want me to take this?
Well, I mean, for me, everything I'm seeing is it's once again the spring training you talk about a lot. The being stretched out is good news, right? I believe I saw 70. I believe he hit, I think, twice, maybe even. So for me, I know a lot of people are saying good things. The fastball, the strikeouts were crazy. I do know there's some weather concerns on the docket as well. So for me, I'm going to sit back and watch. But I have him in best ball a decent amount as well. So I think I'll just be a highly invested fan from the sidelines. What about you? Are you going to be betting on him tonight?
I don't want to bet on them. If anything, I don't know why I wouldn't just take their first half run line minus half.
True.
I think that's a very fair way of doing this because they're going to suck. Like the Rockies are bad, but I have to see the stuff play in a big league game. I have to see it play there. Spring training is spring training. I mean, this dude already got paid, right? I mean, he was going out there just slinging against backups. I think this is a good spot here. For him, maybe like an earned runs number under that I might look at, but I don't want to bet strikeouts yet, just because I kind of have to see it a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me is, and you guys know, I like betting on the unknown players as well, but everyone wants to run and bet on the unknown players, even if there's not necessarily value. You know what I mean? Like 5.5 is a high number to clear. Asking 6 strikeouts in someone's, first major league outing is like a legit ask. It's not like, oh, this is a good value thing. You're asking him to go out there and have a good start, which I'm not saying he won't do. I'm just saying that's not just like some easy value to snatch at. It's a real legit tough number to cover for any pitcher out there. So for me, it's one of those where if I saw a 3.5, right, you see a 4.5, then maybe you jump on the unknown. But if they set a fair number, then for me, I'll sit on the sideline and watch. I don't need to get out and be the first one on it or anything.
Yeah, no, and this is something I mean, the 2080 you guys, 38 you guys are still here, 38 minutes in. Last thing for me before we sign out here. These types of games where weather is coming because there's supposed to snow and rain later in the day here in the Midwest. I take a lot more unders in these types of games, right? Because there ain't no way, even if it's a 25-minute delay, 30-minute delay, there's no way in hell this dude's coming back out. Yep. No way. First game of the season, cold, no chance, right? I would lean, if you're going to make me bet this guy, I'm taking his earned runs under. 1.5, minus 110. I think that's very fair with this, how bad this offense is, with how cold the weather is. That is very fair. And I think that's a line that I would prefer over a strikeout number where this dude might get 50 pitches. Guess what? I don't give a shit if he gives up a run in the first inning and then gets pulled in the third. I'm cashing. I'm on an under. I don't care. I just think this Rockies team is really bad. I don't trust the amount of pitches, so that's the way I would like to go with it.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I'm glad we're kind of more on the same page. A little bit more conservative over here.
Oh, yeah. Wave, man. Been doing it for as long as I've been doing it with the betting on baseball, college baseball, full baseball, playing. You got to think about the weather. Weather is one of the biggest things for me. The only real way to find that edge, right? And it's definitely a spot that I think you could see this dude literally get 5 strikeouts in 3 innings and get pulled because of the weather. It definitely could happen. And guess what? Everybody's going to be screaming from the side like, oh, my God, this sucks. Are you going to refund me? Fuck no. That's how it goes, dude. This is like literally you're playing outside, man. Figure it out. You got to figure this out early because that's how the books are going to smoke you, man. That's how they're going to smoke you is if you don't look at everything, it makes it tough. You got to make sure you're looking at everything, looking at a lot more dome games. So definitely something that you want to look at. Just FYI.
100%.
All right. Stu, you got anything else for the people here? Obviously had the recap about 5 minutes ago. If you want to see that, check that. But Stu, you got anything?
Yeah, the only other thing I did notice, I do have Jabari Walker double-double at 410 for another long shot as well. I mentioned no Kamara for the rest of the season. Those guys were very sneakily taking away minutes from each other at that power forward position, but now wide open, playing 40 minutes. So I figured I did the whole show NBA, and then I gave you guys an MLB long shot. Want one of each out there for you in case you're interested. That's all I got. If you want more, obviously go follow over on Twitter at Monotone Football. It's that time of year. I still do not have an official MLB play out. I'm 0-0, but I'm locking in. I want that first one to be a winner. Like I said, PPS is in the weeds from the first second. I like to go a little bit slower, try to let these guys maybe do a little bit of the hard work first, and then jump in and take advantage of those spots where the sports books are fucking up. So if you want something like that, that sounds like you want more NBA picks in the meantime, follow over on Twitter at Monotone Football, and you guys know where we're at. Pass the Prop Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. for free. Come here, get the picks, leave a like. It's pretty fun. It's a good system. I think the people in the chat can obviously back that up. So I'm ready to go. Got some good picks today. Excited to be back here on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Hit that like button before you head out. Also, make sure you're following on Twitter with notifications on. We've been posting when we're going live. It could be 8 a.m. next time, guys. We've done 8 a.m. shows on these Fridays, on these Wednesdays when these games start early. Like, be ready because Monday, the Wednesday and Thursday games start at noon. So we could have half the slate early. So just make sure you're paying attention, following over on Twitter, get the notifications on so you know if we're going live. We could do it. I haven't looked at Wednesday yet. I'm in the weeds. I'm diving into just today. But if I look, if we see 9-10 games are on that early slate, we're probably going early. So just make sure you have that notifications on Twitter because we usually post about it for both of us. So thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously getting ready in the MLB stuff. Stu is still over there in NBA. So it should be good. Make sure you leave that like on the way out, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good one, guys.